with computers, will there be any way to avoid amusing ourselves to death? And I was talking about some of the creepy social implications of the types of activities that are being turned into games where you can earn points and get credit from various sources, including, of course, government agencies for doing activities that they want you to do. And I talked about how creepy and Orwellian that idea is with reference to, well, a number of articles and videos, as always, in all of my podcasts, but specifically this one called The Most Disturbing Presentation Ever, Our Tech Nightmare.
You go to breakfast, there's the cornflakes. On the back, there's a little web game that you can play. While you eat, instead of reading back, you play a game while you eat your cornflakes. And you get that, and you get 10 points just for eating the cornflakes. And then it turns out you can see your list of friends who also have cornflakes and the scores that they got because you're Wi-Fi and Facebook connected and everything. And so, you get 5 bonus points because you just beat out one of your friends at the cornflakes game. So then you go and you get on the bus. The bus? Why am I taking the bus? You're taking the bus because the government has started giving out all kinds of bonus points to people who use public transportation. And you can use these points for tax incentives. And while you're sitting on the bus riding to work and you're playing your little Tetris and getting a few points here and there, you suddenly remember, I had this dream last night. I had a dream that my mother was dancing with this giant Pepsi can. And then you realize, oh yeah, the REM entertainment system, right, which is the thing you put in your ear and it can stand from your REM sleep. And then it starts putting little advertisements out there to try and influence your dreams. And then you can fill out a little form to test to see if those things came through into your dreams. And if they did, then big ones for you, right? And you can use these points at the grocery store or whatever. And you get to work on time. Good job. Excellent. You got to work on time. And you get a special bonus, I don't know, for something else. Maybe because you've been there on time all week. And then there's your office mate, and he's like, check out, I got a new digital tattoo, right? It's a tattoo you can change the image because it's got like e-ink in it in your arm, right? So you can change the image all the time to whatever you want. But a lot of people are using Tattooable AdSense, right? And so he's got the ads up, and you're thinking, you're really dumb because Tattooable AdSense has light sensors in it, and so that when your arm is covered, you're not going to get any money from people seeing the ads. And you show them how yours is lower on the arm so it's more exposed, so you get more points for it. And just then, you realize that the two of you have your ads suddenly synchronized just by chance. And so, you say, link sync, and you get 30 points for noticing a link sync that the two of us had that. And he says, Pop-Tarts because they're both Pop-Tart ads, and the system is listening, and it can tell that we said Pop-Tarts. And then we do high five because the body electricity sensors can tell when you do a high five. And that's the rule, that's how the game works. Then when the ads line up, because it makes you pay more attention to the ads, because that's how these games will work. The games will be tricking you to pay more attention to ads. So then you go to lunch and you had Dr. Peppers all week, and so you got to have another Dr. Pepper because you get 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, and then you have another one, and there's another one, but there's a special with Dr. Pepper this week. If you have 5 Dr. Peppers and me, 500 bonus points, so you're definitely going to take advantage of that. And then you got a meeting at another building, it's a half a mile away, and you could take a shuttle over. You decide, I'm going to walk because the health insurance plan that you're on gives you bonus points if you walk like more than a mile each day, and we can sense that easily, through your digital shoes. And if you get your heart rate up a certain amount, then you get more bonus points from your health insurance company.
Etc., etc., etc. As you can see, the possibility exists for gamifying every aspect of our existence, and some of those things seem, at least on their face, to be good things. Well, of course, if there's an incentive for walking instead of driving your car that mile that you could easily walk, well, why not do it? What's so bad about that? And just giving people an incentive. It's all voluntary and it's all happy. Well, as you can see, it starts to turn into a really creepy sector of social control that can easily be wielded on, well, people that can be turned into, Skinner boxes. The Skinner boxes can be used to manipulate the people in the way that Skinner manipulated pigeons, for example, and it has some pretty disturbing implications for the overall structuring of society. But I do suggest you go back and listen to this podcast and listen to the implications of all of this, but I'm sure some people in the audience might think, oh, well, this is all just sci-fi nonsense. None of this is really happening in real life, except for, as many, many, many of you have sent me emails this week telling me about this video, well, actually, it is happening.
The name Sesame. So the owners of China's largest social networks have partnered with the government to create something akin to the US credit score. But instead of measuring how regularly you pay your bills, it measures how obediently you follow the party line. They dredge data from your social network, so if you post pictures of Tiananmen Square or share a link about the recent stock market collapse, your Sesame credit score goes down. Share a link from the state-sponsored news agency about how good the economy's doing, and your score goes up. But Alibaba and Tencent are also the largest online retailers in China, so Sesame Credit is also able to pull data from your purchases. If you're making purchases the state deems valuable, like work shoes or local agricultural products, your score goes up. If you import anime from Japan, though, down the score goes. And this score has real-world consequences. Like many games, Sesame Credit has tiers and levels, and having a high score gives you special benefits, like making it easier to get the paperwork you need to travel, or making it easier to get a loan. Now, currently, there are no consequences for having a low score, but there's been talk about implementing penalties once the system becomes mandatory in 2020.
Oh, etc., etc. Please do watch this full video. Very important information here from Extra Credits about this Sesame credit system, which shouldn't be a completely new idea to Corbett Report listeners. I talked about this article earlier this year, China to use big data to rate citizens in new social credit system. where it says, "How good a citizen are you?" China hopes to answer that question for every one of its citizens with a numerical rating system based on their financial standing, criminal record, and social media behavior. A new translation of the government's plans for a so-called social credit system sheds light on how China aims to utilize big data to hold all citizens accountable for financial decisions as well as moral choices. China's plan to roll out a citizen rating system has been in the works for years. Roger Creamers, a China expert at Oxford University, recently published a translation of a document circulated through various levels of government detailing the 6-year rollout of the program. According to a state council notice, the central government hopes to have every adult in China assigned a credit code in addition to a government-issued identity card by 2020. Accelerating the construction of a social credit system is an important basis for comprehensively implementing the scientific development view and building a harmonious socialist society, the memo reads, adding that it has important significance for strengthening the sincerity consciousness of the members of society. The guiding ideology, the name of a subsection in the memo, states that a key principle of the system is government promotion. And please do go read through this memo. It's extremely important. Planning outline for the construction of a social credit system 2014 to 2020, where it does talk about how a social credit system is an important component part of the socialist market economy system and the social government system. It is founded on laws, regulations, standards, and charters. It is based on a complete network covering the credit records of members of society and credit infrastructure. It is supported by the lawful application of credit information and a credit services system. Its inherent requirements are establishing the idea of a sincerity culture and carrying forward sincerity and traditional virtues. It uses encouragement to keep trust and constraints against breaking trust as incentive mechanisms, and its objective is raising the honest mentality and credit levels of the entire society. Ooh, again, please do read through the whole document. It is a mouthful, but it is worth checking out to see how this harmonious social market economy system is going to be implemented through this creepy Orwellian technology. Some more ideas of this come from, of all places, the Big Brother Corporation. China Social Credit Beijing sets up huge system, which notes some of the creepy aspects of this. For example, users are encouraged to flaunt their good credit scores to friends and even potential mates. China's biggest matchmaking service, Baihe, has teamed up with Sesame to promote clients with good credit scores, giving them prominent spots on the company's website. A person's appearance is very important, explains Baihe's Vice President Zhuan Yurong, but it's more important to be able to make a living. Your partner's fortune guarantees a comfortable life. More and more of Baihe's 90 million clients are displaying their credit scores in their dating profiles, doing away with the idea that a credit score is a private matter. And this talks about some of the creepy aspects of this, including how, of course, Sesame Credit will not divulge exactly how it calculates its credit scores, explaining that it is a complex algorithm, i.e., obviously subject to arbitrary whims of whatever, well, Sesame Credit employee or more likely government agent wants to make this or that person go away. They can downgrade their social credit rating, and in the future, when there are penalties tied to that, of course, it is just a new type of throwing people in the slammer. It talks about some of the just creepiness of this. A national database will merge a wide variety of information on every citizen, assessing whether taxes and traffic tickets have been paid, whether academic degrees have been rightly earned, and even, it seems, whether females have been instructed to take birth control. Critics say the social credit system is... Now, you see, this is where the Big Brother Corporation's color shines through. Critics say the social credit system is nightmarish and Orwellian. However, some believe that some kind of credit system is badly needed in China. And the central bank has the financial data from 800 million people, but only 320 million have a traditional credit history. Oh no, and it goes and makes the argument for why this is so badly needed in China, as you would expect the Big Brother Corporation to do. Again, tons of creepy stuff here. I will be doing an article and or video and or podcast on this in the future, going through more of this in greater detail. But again, none of this should be too surprising to people who've been following the Corbett Report's work for any length of time, and for people who think that China and the BRICS are going to be the saviors of humanity because they care about people. Oh, yay. You might want to check out China and the New World Order, and yes, how they are absolutely part of the same system. In fact, they're really just doing the front-running legwork for the New World Order, testing out these social engineering systems that are going to be, through the Big Brother Corporation and others, first presented in a way, oh, this is dangerous and critics don't like it, but, oh, maybe it's necessary. And eventually it will be, well, of course we need to do this here in order to control the out-of-control nation that we're trying to bring in line. And eventually it's going to be a worldwide phenomenon. So this is just the canary in the coal mine. It's very, very scary, very creepy stuff. Please check it through the show notes for links to all of these videos.